Hey, Mitch.
Hi, Ed.
Hey, how's it going? I'm so excited. We're talking about Gremlins. I got my cute little gizmo here. I'm dressed as Rockin' Ricky Rialto.
Yeah, Gremlins. I remember that movie. It was funny, but it's not real.
Yeah,
We've
of
been
course.
through this.
No, don't be. It is real. You know the three rules. You got to make sure they don't eat after midnight. Bright light, they don't light, and don't get any water near them. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah? Well, what
Yeah.
happens if I do this?
Uh, uh, let's just start the show. Hi, this is Ed Dollister,
And this is Mitch Cuddles Halleck.
and welcome to another exciting episode of Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for joining us. If you are a regular viewer, thanks for coming back. Mitch, before we start our topic to Kingston Falls, can you tell us a little bit about how we do this and what you can find out?
Oh, Ed, it is easy as going into an antique shop on Christmas Eve and talking to an old man who looks like he fell off a charm bracelet and getting a weird little creature and bringing it home. All you got to do is hit the button below, and you too will be subscribed to Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure and find out whenever Ed and I go on another trip into the past by hitting the notification button and hit the like button while you're there because it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy. Speaking of warm and fuzzy, take it away, Ed, and talk about.
Gremlins. That's
There
right. We're
you
going
go.
back to 1984 and a classic film. I love this film, and it was a good choice by you, Mitch, because it is really a Christmas film, even though it wasn't released in America
No,
at
June.
Christmas
Come out
time.
in
It
June.
was released on the same day as Ghostbusters.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was in
Um,
June,
yes,
June
June
12th,
8th.
I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
June.
June 8th, 1984. It opened in Australia December 13, so it was a bit more
19,
Christmassy.
1980.
No,
Yeah.
no, 1997. We got things a
Oh,
little slower around
you
here, but
little
that's
late.
okay. And it was a huge hit, directed by Joe Dante, who at that, I suppose, stage was best known for directing The Howling.
Hmm.
But later on, he did some wonderful genre picks, The Explorers. One of my favorites, The Burbs, with Tom Hanks, which never,
Yeah, yeah.
really did.
Shelley Long, too, I believe.
With who? Sorry.
Shelley Long, no?
No,
Or
no,
is
that
that
was with
that's
Carrie Fisher. You're
Carrie
thinking of
Fisher?
you're thinking
Oh, the
you're
Money
thinking of
Pit.
the pit, the money pit. That's
Money
right.
Pit. Yeah, wrong one. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
Sorry.
But this is a fantastic film. Before we begin, I thought I'd go into our trusty. This one's Leonard
Wait a
Maltin.
second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
This is after Joe Dante does the bit for the Twilight Zone movie, right?
Yeah, that was 1983. Yes.
Yeah, Nightmare 20,000 Feet, or a remake of that one.
No, no, no. That was George Miller. He did the one with the psychic boy who could make things happen just by thinking of them.
Oh, that was him? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because then the kick the can one was Spielberg,
Spielberg, and he had
and
John
then Landis
Landis.
did the other one. Yeah, we don't talk about that one with
No.
Morrow. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So
Yes, and it was with Cloris Leachman, and Bill Mummy was in it. It was based on that one. Yeah, yeah. We're neither here nor there,
that's
but we're
okay. So let's talk about it's quite
yes.
ironic that Leonard Maltin reviewed this because well we'll find out in a second. So Gremlins, let's have a look here. A teenager's unusual new pet spawns a legion of vicious violent monsters who turn picture postcard town into a living hell. Comic Nightmare is a cross between Capra's It's a Wonderful Life and The Blob, full of film buff in jokes but negated by too vivid violence and mayhem.
Eh.
Cameos range from animator Chuck Jones to Robbie the Robot, but you have to look for executive producer Steven Spielberg. Howie Mandel is the voice of Gremlins, followed by a sequel, 2 stars.
Wait, he gave the original 2 stars?
Yes,
He's a lunatic. That's
and as
bull.
a result of that, actually, they invited him onto the set for Gremlins 2, and he came and gave his review of that in the movie and
Yeah,
actually gets attacked by the Gremlins and changes his
good.
original review. So
Oh, that was he's crazy. That was a fun movie. Gremlins was fun. It was
it
the
was a
1984 was fantastic year for
oh, what
movies.
a year. You had Temple of Doom, you had
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters,
Yeah,
um,
Star Trek. No,
Star
that
Trek
was Was it
three
number
or, s-
3? Search for
or
Spock?
four. No, that was yeah, that was I think 83,
No,
83, 84.
82 was Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
So maybe. Yes, it was that year because 86 was the Voyage Home.
So you had a fantastic cast. I forgot that when we were watching it again on
Yeah.
Blu-ray last night, Kingston Falls, and I'm going, oh my gosh, we've actually Kelly and I have actually been there because that's where they filmed Back to the Future. That's Hill Valley.
Oh, it's that
That's the
little
whole
hill.
set.
It's the little town. Oh, yeah, in
Yes.
Universal. I've been there. It's the
So
back
we've
lot
been
bar.
there. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to going back through my photos to go, the movie cinema where they are showing A Boy's Life and
Yep.
Watch the
Yep.
Skies. Again, lots
Yep.
of those in jokes, Steven Spielberg in jokes, and they later show a Snow White. That's the theater that the DeLorean drives in, or the
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
disappears into. It stars pretty much an unknown Zach Galligan as Billy. The I had a crush. I'm sure everyone else did.
BB
Had
Cates.
Phoebe Cates as Kate. Hoyt Axton,
Yeah.
who
Key
did
Luke. Yeah.
yes, Key Luke as Mr. Wing. Hoyt Axton, did you know he wrote "Joy to the World"? That Three Dog Night sang.
Yes, I did. He had a music career. Yeah. He
He
was a
did,
country bluegrass guy.
and
Yep.
I always wanted one of the bathroom buddies or all those sort of
Oh,
those
that's right. He was the inventor. I forgot that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
fantastic. You had Dick Miller, who played Murray Futterman, who
Yep.
appeared in a lot of Joe Dante films. There's a really good I think it's called "You Don't Know Dick," which is a documentary on Dick Miller.
About his career.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is really
Yeah.
good. You had Frances McCain, who played his mother, Billy's
Mhm.
mother. Do you know
Mhm.
who else's mother she played?
Anthony, Norman Bates.
She was Lorraine's mother from Back to the Future as well.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
So
all
obviously back in
connected.
1955, you had Judge Reinhold as Gerald. You had Polly Holiday as Mrs. Deagle, and you also had Glyn Thurman, who played Roy Hansen, the science teacher. And you see him pop up occasionally in films as well. Did
Hmm.
you know that the film was supposed to be super dark? I mean, it's pretty
It
dark when you
kind
think
of
about it,
is. Yeah. Yeah.
but
It
it
was
was super dark.
darker.
His mother was originally going to be beheaded.
Ooh. No, I didn't know
The
that.
science teacher, you see him just within like a needle
Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah.
In They originally filmed it, he had needles all over it, one in his
Oh.
eyeball.
Oh, no, we're not getting a PG-13 with that one.
No, well, that's the whole thing. It was going to be PG, and of course the censorship board looked at it, and between
Yeah.
that and the infamous Indiana Jones and the Temple of
Temple of
Doom,
Doom.
that's
Yeah.
when they changed that classification to PG-13. So
No, I was gonna say there was a lot of weird stuff. I remember the darkest part. Well, no, you don't see it; it's off screen. Is Phoebe Cates tells the story about her father who would dress up as Santa Claus and try to surprise the kids, and then they couldn't find him, and then he ended up getting stuck in the chimney and he died in there.
yep,
Right?
I
That's
know.
kind of what the hell is that?
It is very dark. And in fact, Steven Spielberg suggested to have that removed, that
Oh, that scene?
speech. But Joe Dante said no, that shows
Oh yeah, no, because I always,
slides.
I mean, here it is, 40, literally 40 years ago that movie, and I remember that scene vividly. I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
I don't know about that. But no, it was a fun picture when it came out. And if I remember, Chris Columbus, who's going to go on to make the Harry Potter movies
Home
and work on
Alone.
Home Alone, he got this idea when he lived in a real cheesy apartment. I don't know if it was in New York or wherever, and there was a lot of mice in his apartment. And he slept in a bed, and he said he would dream that his hand would hang over the side of the bed at night when he slept, and that the mice would be nibbling at his fingers. And that's where
Yes.
he kind of got the idea of gremlins being around at night and coming out at night. And of course, like you said at the opening, the three magic rules that you can't avoid. And the funny thing is about Key Luke, he was, of course, in the Charlie Chan movies, he was number one son, and he had a long career in
Mm.
Hollywood. He'd pop up all over the place. But the thing of it is, I remember when he gives him those warnings, and I think they mention it in the movie too. Don't they go, well, at midnight where? Because
Yes.
it's like,
Well,
well,
they do in
yeah,
the second, they make fun of that in Gremlins 2, A New Batch, where
yeah,
they're sort of going, he's it's got to be midnight somewhere, and
it's always, yeah, right.
all those sort of things. So they were the three rules. One of the rules, which was, avoid bright light, the reason that they came up with that is because they wanted to hide, they knew that they could hide some of the effects of the amazing
Oh,
puppets. Chris
yeah.
Wallace created the
Yeah.
puppets. They still hold up. Were trying to do. They were going to get monkeys with masks
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. Didn't work. It still holds up
Yeah.
amazingly. So
There he is. This one was Stripe. Wasn't that the
yes,
main bad guy with the little fuzzy hair?
that's correct.
It-
So
yeah.
the speaking of which merchandise when it came out. So
Oh,
um
well, I have the program back when we always talked
oh
about movie
yes,
programs. I have that here. I was going to grab it, but of course I ran out of time. You go in and you get it at the movie theater or at the bookstore, and it would talk about the making of it. And it had the cover, which was actually a great movie poster cover because you didn't know what you're getting. It was a Christmas present, and Gizmo or was peeking out of the box, and it
that's
just
right.
said,
So it had that was
"Do
by
not
John
open."
Alvin. And did
Yes.
you know that on the poster, if you look
Hmm.
at Billy's the button on his jeans
Ooh.
is actually the Amblin logo.
Oh, no kidding. Oh no, I did not know that. See that?
Yep.
40
I'll
years and I did not know that. Hmm.
So, and then later on, they had once people knew what Gremlins were, they had Stripe bursting out of the poster,
Oh
so you
yeah.
could see
Yeah,
Stripe.
the reveal was they didn't want to let people know, but because I always thought of Gremlins,
It's
and they show it
actually
in the movie, is the Bugs Bunny cartoon where you
yes.
find the gremlin on an airplane. Yep, I've got the
There's the
novel.
novelization.
And is it by Alan Dean Foster?
No, it's by
Did
George
Alan
Guy. So there you
was
go.
Alan Dean sick
But that
that
goes
week?
a bit more into the lore of Gremlins.
Yeah,
They did the
yeah.
usual when we're talking about merchandise, lunchbox and
Trading cards,
trading cards.
board game,
They did do a board game. They
action figures.
LJN brought out a lot of toys. They had
Yep,
the action figures, which I
yep.
put up. I've still got mine. This is from 1984 Village Cinemas in Australia. That was the cup that we would get.
Oh wow. I've got my original Gizmo. I told you I remember buying the
Yes,
little PVC plastic one, and they had a lot of versions of the actual Gremlins that came out of them at night. Because I remember there was like bendies, which were like a
yes.
little wire on a little rubber action figure that you could move around too. But there was a lot of merchandise. This was a big hit. It wasn't like something you forgot about. Gremlins 2 is also very enjoyable, but it's more of a satire. It's almost like a Mad Magazine of the first movie because they get weird in that one. That's where they go into a TV station and they take it over. And isn't the bad guy? Oh no, it's John
Christopher
Glover.
Lee. It's John Glover and Christopher Lee is in it as
Yes,
well. It's
yes,
very
yes.
meta. Joe Dante actually said that he prefers that film
Second
um,
one?
to the second one to the
Yeah.
original. But Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates return. Obviously,
Yep.
Gizmo
Yep.
returns. Howie
Yep.
Mandel, yeah, did the voice of Gizmo.
And
Michael
then they take
Winslow also did some of the voices.
well, I was gonna say they take over the movie theater, and one funny scene in the theater when we saw it back in the day was they took over the projection
Yes,
booth, and the screen goes white, and they're actually it's like a whole meta fourth wall
that's right.
break
And
type
they
thing.
actually do that on the home video release. They changed it so it looked like the video would your video was playing up.
Yeah, wasn't
So
like there like a weird scene with Hulk Hogan pops up in it, or
yeah,
my
he's in the cinema. That's with I think Leonard Maltin and everything like that in the second one. It's really
oh yeah
good.
yeah
It's
yeah
a really good
yeah.
film. The score. We were quickly talking about some cameos. Yeah, you can see Steven Spielberg riding around
Where's
at the
Spielberg?
invention. He's
He's just
riding
running
like a sort of like an electric, not wheelchair, but an electric bike around
oh
where Hoyt Axon is on the
yep
telephone. Jerry
yep
Goldsmith is actually in the other phone booth. There
oh
you
no
can
kidding.
see him as a cameo. They've got the cameo of the H.G. Wells Time Machine from the
George Powell
Rod
yeah
Taylor version,
yep
which is
yep
quite
yep
funny. There's obviously Rocky Rick in Rialto. There's
yeah.
there's references to E.T. with actually with the toy where he's there amongst all the Looney Tunes
I'm
toys, which is
remembering a
there.
Raiders of the Lost Ark gag, but maybe that's in the sequel, or maybe I'm just imagining that.
It could be. There's some Barbie. There's a lot of things. It's a fantastic, fun
It
Christmas movie.
is.
That is a little
It
bit
is a
dark,
Christmas
and
movie,
it's
so yeah,
quite
maybe.
violent.
Oh, it's super violent, but then again, a lot of Christmas movies are
Yeah.
like Die Hard.
Yes. Hmm.
But did you know Gremlins is still with us? Not only is the merchandise everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I told you I picked up this little Gremlins thing today
Yep.
at a store. You can go to a Target. There's more Gremlins toy. It never really went away. There's ornaments. They have like Hallmark makes art. I don't know why. I
Oh,
didn't realize
there
there was
he.
a
Oh,
big
you
cult.
can't see him. He's up.
What?
There he
You have
is.
there he is. There's
You can
Gizmo way
see,
up
and
there.
there he is
Yeah.
right there. I've got my two gremlins with thanks to you. So
Yeah, I'm just saying it never went away. I don't know. And there's actually a new animated series that my friend Keone Young, who comes to Terrificon, Connecticut's #1 Comic Con, he does the voices on that show. It's on
well,
HBO Max here, but
funny,
go ahead.
funny about that. Secrets of the Mogwai. My friend, I'll put a picture up of me, and AJ is the voice of Gizmo. He's the voice of Marty McFly in the video games and the
Ah,
pinball. He's also the voice of Harrison Ford and things like that. So
was there a video game, Ed?
there was Atari 2600, yes. And I think they did other video games as well. There's lots there. It's great. It's on Blu-ray. There's a 4K, I believe, of it as
Oh,
well.
wow.
It's available for streaming. It's a great, fun film. Watch it at Christmas. You'll have lots of laughs. You know
Yeah.
what else you can watch, Mitch?
Us?
Yes. How
Oh,
can
there
you
you
do a
go.
little bit more? Sorry, I was expecting a bit more of a,
Oh, well,
how
I
can you
know. Yeah,
answer
I
that?
mean, yeah, you usually you ask me how you can
I
do
know
that.
how. Well, I'm running out of time. How can
Okay, Ed, you know how we can watch it? It's easy as spilling water on yourself and making little things pop up.
Oh, what?
What? All you got to do is subscribe to Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure by hitting the button below, and you too will be notified every time Mitch and Ed go on another trip back to the past, watching TV, movies, toys, and more right here on the mighty YouTube. And hit the like button because why not? Your mom would like it too. That's it, Ed. That's Gremlins. There's probably a lot more that we forgot about, but we don't want to waste all your time like those other YouTube shows do.
Just
And you
reading the
know who you are.
Wikipedia page. That's right. Signing
That's
off.
right.
Signing
This
off.
is
This is Gizmo and Ed Dollister.
this is Mitch Mugwai Halleck.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.